What is giving up, and why don't we do it more often? Giving up is often seen as a failure of courage, but it can also be a form of realism, recognizing our limitations and choosing to pursue different paths. We tend to idealize seeing things through, but not giving up can sometimes lead to unnecessary suffering and the tyranny of completion. Giving up can involve acknowledging loss of desire, admitting failure, seeking the pleasures of sabotage, or recognizing the need for change. What is the relationship between giving up and suicide? While suicide is the ultimate form of giving up, it's important to detach the broader concept of giving up from this extreme act. Giving up in everyday life is about reassessing our desires and capabilities, not necessarily questioning the worth of life itself. Suicide makes us question what sustains the wish to live, but milder forms of giving up help us evaluate what's truly worth pursuing and when to let go. What does Freud's death instinct tell us about the desire to give up? Freud's controversial death instinct reflects a part of ourselves that sometimes desires less life rather than more. While often seen as destructive, this impulse can also represent a longing for peace, a release from suffering, or a rejection of societal pressures to constantly strive for more. How does sleep offer a more positive perspective on giving up? Sleep is a nightly ritual of giving up consciousness, control, and ambition. It's a restorative and necessary form of surrender that allows us to rejuvenate. Unlike suicide, sleep is a benign and even essential form of giving up, illustrating that relinquishing control can be beneficial. What role does familiarization play in our sense of aliveness? Habitualization can deaden our experience of life. Victor S.H. Klofsky argued that art, through defamiliarization, helps us recover the sensation of life. When we become too accustomed to routine and unchallenged by new perspectives, we risk losing our sense of aliveness and becoming trapped in a death-in-life existence. What is the connection between aliveness and language? Lacan suggests that language is alive when we use it creatively and individually, giving it our own nudges of meaning. Aliveness in language reflects a willingness to experiment, play, and find new ways to express ourselves. When language becomes overly formalized or standardized, it risks losing its vitality and our capacity to engage with it fully. How can understanding individualism and essentialism inform our approach to wanting? Essentialism posits that we have a fixed nature and predetermined wants. Anti-essentialism suggests that our wants are fluid, evolving, and influenced by our experiences. Recognizing this tension helps us approach wanting with more flexibility and openness. We can choose to hold on to certain core values while remaining open to new desires and possibilities. What is the difference between essentialist and experimentalist approaches to wanting? Essentialists believe they know what they want and seek to achieve it through established methods. Experimentalists view wanting as an ongoing process of discovery, open to change and uncertainty. Both approaches have their merits. While essentialism offers clarity and direction, experimentalism encourages adaptability and a broader range of experiences. What is the central theme explored in both On Giving Up and On Not Believing in Anything? Both essays delve into the experience of disillusionment and the subsequent struggle with belief. On Giving Up focuses on the feeling of exclusion as a core element of the human experience, highlighting how it shapes our identity and choices. On Not Believing in Anything examines the broader cultural crisis of lost faith in traditional values and institutions following the world wars, prompting questions about what can be believed in a world seemingly devoid of meaning. How do the works of Kafka and Freud contribute to understanding the theme of exclusion? Kafka and Freud, both writing as Jews in a turbulent period of European history, grappled with the feeling of being outsiders. Kafka's literature, particularly his use of surreal and enigmatic situations, reflects the absurdity and anxiety of feeling excluded. Freud, through psychoanalysis, explored the psychological mechanisms of exclusion, arguing that we exclude parts of ourselves and others to manage our anxieties and desires. What role does curiosity play in navigating a world where belief seems impossible? Both essays suggest that curiosity, even in the face of despair and disbelief, is essential. Freud viewed curiosity as a fundamental human drive, particularly evident in childhood, that could lead to self-knowledge and understanding. On Not Believing in Anything argues that cultivating curiosity, even about our own lack of belief, can open up new avenues for understanding and engagement with the world. How does the concept of censorship relate to the themes of belief and exclusion? Censorship, both internal and external, becomes a significant theme in understanding how we manage belief and exclusion. Censorship restricts certain ideas and desires, shaping what we allow ourselves to know and experience. Freud saw internal censorship, the superego, as a necessary element of social functioning, but also as a potential source of conflict and repression. Both essays suggest that examining our own censorship mechanisms can help us understand our beliefs and motivations. What does it mean to live in a world where the greatest and most important things are no longer clear? The collapse of traditional values and institutions explored in On Not Believing in Anything leads to uncertainty about what truly matters. Musil's The Man Without Qualities, set in pre-war Vienna, depicts a society struggling to find meaning and purpose amidst this uncertainty. The essay suggests that this lack of clarity challenges us to reevaluate our priorities and explore new ways of finding meaning and value. How do the novels The Man Without Qualities and Dr. Faustus exemplify the cultural crisis of belief? The Man Without Qualities portrays a society on the brink of collapse, unable to find unifying beliefs or values. Musil's protagonist, Ulrich, embodies this crisis as a man who just didn't believe in anything. Mann's Dr. Faustus takes this a step further, linking the composer Adrian Leverkusen's Pact with the Devil representing a rejection of traditional morality to the rise of Nazism in Germany, suggesting a desperate search for meaning in the face of cultural and moral decay. Can psychoanalysis offer a way to navigate the challenges of disbelief and disillusionment? While psychoanalysis doesn't offer easy answers, it provides a framework for understanding our internal conflicts and how they shape our beliefs and relationships. By exploring our unconscious desires, fears, and defenses, psychoanalysis can help us become more aware of the forces that influence our beliefs and choices, potentially leading to greater self-understanding and more fulfilling ways of engaging with the world. What is the ultimate message about giving up and not believing? While acknowledging the despair and disillusionment prevalent in modern life, both essays suggest that giving up should not be seen as passive resignation. Instead, it can be a catalyst for critical reflection and a renewed sense of curiosity. Confronting the loss of traditional beliefs and embracing the uncertainty of a world without easy answers can be a starting point for forging new, more authentic ways of living and finding meaning. What is the central argument of the text regarding loss? The text argues that our obsession with loss, while seemingly natural, is largely a product of language and culture. We are conditioned to view life through the lens of loss, seeing aging, illness, and even evil as forms of absence or deprivation. This focus on loss, however, can narrow our perspectives and limit our understanding of life's complexities. How does the author contrast human experiences of loss with those of animals? The author observes that while animals undoubtedly experience loss, they do not seem to be as preoccupied with it as humans. Animals, it is suggested, live more in the present, focused on survival rather than dwelling on what has been lost. This difference highlights the role of human thought and language in shaping our perception of loss. How does language contribute to our understanding and experience of loss? Language, by its very nature, deals with absence. Words represent things that are not immediately present, creating a sense of separation and potential loss. The author suggests that this inherent quality of language may contribute to our tendency to view the world through a lens of loss. What is the Fort Da game, and how does it relate to the concept of loss? The Fort Da game refers to an observation by Freud of his grandson throwing a toy away and retrieving it, vocalizing "gone" and "there." Freud interpreted this as the child symbolically mastering his mother's absences. The author questions whether this is truly about mastering loss, or rather a reinterpretation of the experience through play. How does the text challenge the idea of childhood as solely a time of loss? The text acknowledges the common notion that childhood is about giving up childish things and transitioning to adulthood through sacrifice. However, it also suggests that development might be less about discarding and more about incorporating and reinterpreting past experiences. What is the significance of childhood memories in understanding the concept of giving up? The author points out the elusive nature of childhood memories and questions their reliability. The act of recalling childhood becomes a way of constructing a narrative, potentially driven by desires and current perspectives rather than objective truth. This raises questions about what we truly give up as we grow and how those memories shape our understanding of ourselves. What alternative perspectives on giving up does the text propose? Instead of viewing giving up as solely about loss and sacrifice, the author suggests it can also be seen as a form of giving. What we give up can be reinterpreted, repurposed, and even serve as inspiration for future growth and creativity. What is the ultimate message the text conveys about our relationship with giving up? The text encourages a critical examination of our assumptions about loss and giving up. It suggests that by shifting our focus away from the perceived negativity of these experiences, we can explore new possibilities and perhaps find unexpected value in what we thought we had lost.